When resentful Claire revealed that Victoria from Y&R was actually Eve Howard, the daughter Vicky and Cole believed had passed away soon after her birth back in 1998, Victory was taken aback. Take a peek at these 7 previous unplanned parent-child reunions from the history of the show. Abbott Chemo Volian. Paul and Christine went to Vietnam in 1994 in order to find Chemo, the son who Chris had recently become friends with but had to leave behind when she left her own country. It was soon discovered, to the astonishment of both men, that Lewin's romantic relationship with Jack Peter Bergman during the war gave birth to Chemo, Philip Moon. Despite their occasionally tense relationship, Chemo and his father got along well enough that after Lewin passed away in 1996, Chemo departed Genoa City. After growing apart off-screen, Chemo passed away in 2022 from a heart attack. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. The Cassie Newman. When Sharon Case, was 16, she secretly gave birth to a daughter and placed the child for adoption. Although Cassie Cameron Grimes, the charming 6-year-old cousin of best friend Grace, and Sharon became close in 1997, Grace eventually admitted that Cassie was actually the daughter Sharon had given up. For custody, Sharon had to fight Alice, the adoptive mother who was uncaring. Alice gave up her parental rights, realizing Cassie would be happier with Sharon and Nick. Cassie unfortunately passed away in 2005 at the age of 14 after suffering injuries in an automobile accident. Browning Mackenzie. When McKenna's Ashley Basham, a runaway adolescent, showed Catherine a letter from her mother Amanda in 1999, detailing her relationship with Kay's son Brock, Bo Kaiser, Catherine became friends with her. La Chancellor concluded that Mackenzie was her granddaughter and told her so with much pleasure. After returning from India, where he had been on humanitarian missions around the world, Brock was overjoyed to see his new daughter. Following a disastrous marriage to G.T., Mackenzie and their 2 children currently reside in Washington, D.C., where Brock continues to be interested in charitable endeavors. Since Bo's passing, the HSFW has never written. McCall Tucker. In 2009, the very cunning Tucker, then Stephen Nichols, acquired most of Chancellor Industries, who confessed to Gene Cooper's character Catherine that he was the child she had placed for adoption and that he was seeking revenge. Despite their attacks on Tucker's person and company prior to his departure from Genoa City in 2013, the mother and son issued apologies. Off-camera, Tucker was visited by Catherine and her husband Murphy in Hong Kong, where they had a friendly supper together before she passed away that evening. Currently, Tucker is attempting to remove Jill from her position as CEO of his mother's business, which is now controlled by both his son Devin and himself as Chancellor Winters. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. Ronan Malloy. In an effort to root out corruption inside the GCPD, FBI agent Ronan Malloy, Jeff Branson, went undercover as a bad officer in 2010. The scheme was known to federal prosecutor Pristine, who was also well aware of a very important secret. Ronan was the infant boy who had been taken from her closest friend Nana, Trisha Cast, shortly after his birth in 1986. Ronan shot and killed Nana's second son, Chance, a police officer, without her knowledge as part of a ruse to deceive their corrupt superiors. The news that Ronan was her long-lost kid further compounded Nina's horror at her son's passing. Nina and Ronan eventually had the long-overdue reunion when Pristine revealed the truth. Their relationship was largely cordial, and in 2012, he relocated to Washington, D.C. Dylan McAvoy. In 2013, Nikki went in search of her firstborn, whom she thought was the son of cult leader Ian Ward, with Paul Doug Davidson. They learned that Dylan, played by Steve Burton, was her child. Dylan found the vile Ian, who was causing trouble for both the Newmans and him. Dylan's biological father realized that Paul was seriously injured, and in order to save Paul's life, he gave a part of his liver. Dylan was embraced by Paul and Nikki, who were saddened when he had to go into witness protection in 2017. Locke Harrison. In the year 2021, Michael Mueller's character Kyle discovered that his liaison with Tara, who was married, had given birth to a boy named Harrison, Kellen Enriquez, whom she was misrepresenting as Ashland's spouse. When the vicious Ashland learned of his wife's previous relationship with Kyle, she fled to the Abbott mansion to escape his fury. Even though Ashland was still in love with the boy, he granted Kyle custody of Harrison